What exactly did Jungkook say to Taehyung that made one of BTS's members unable to hide his emotions in public? Why did that statement trigger a wave of tears from millions of ARMYs around the world? And how is this related to BTS's future, which has long been shrouded in speculation and uncertainty? This shocking statement not only touched the emotional side of fans, but also raised critical questions about the group's career direction going forward, especially after the military service phase that has temporarily separated the members. An in-depth interview broadcast in limited scope by one of South Korea's national media outlets, Taehyung, also known by his stage name V, for the first time openly discussed a personal communication he had with Jungkook. The moment instantly went viral, and excerpts from the interview spread widely across social media platforms, creating a massive stir among ARMYs and entertainment industry observers. Taehyung, with a hoarse voice and an expression full of emotional burden, stated that Jungkook had told him something that completely changed his perspective on BTS and their future as a group. Although he did not reveal the full details of Jungkook's message explicitly, Taehyung emphasized that the words were spoken from the deepest part of Jungkook's heart and carried extraordinary sincerity. "I've never seen Jungkook this serious, not even when we discuss music or other major projects," said Taehyung in the interview clip, which has now been viewed more than 20 million times in the past 24 hours. The issue quickly spiraled in the fan community. Many linked Jungkook's statement to unofficial rumors about the possibility of BTS not returning as a full-time group after all members complete their mandatory military service. Speculations that had previously only circulated in online discussion forums now seem to gain emotional confirmation, at least from the personal side of the members themselves. Taehyung revealed that the message from Jungkook came in the form of a long voice note sent at night, when the two were undergoing different military schedules. In that recording, Jungkook expressed his thoughts on how hard they had worked over the past decade and how he felt it was now the right time to reevaluate their role in the industry and their individual lives. He wasn't talking about breaking up, Taehyung said, but he was talking about a fatigue he never admitted before. That quote struck a chord with ARMYs. Many admitted they weren't ready if BTS were to change permanently. On the other hand, some expressed full support for the mental health and personal rights of the members, an issue that has also become a major topic in the modern K-pop discourse. One of the most significant clues came from how Taehyung described Jungkook in that conversation. He sounded like someone releasing a burden. Not because he wanted to give up, but because he wanted to be understood, said V, his eyes starting to well up during the interview. That was the first time I felt Jungkook was truly just a human being, not just an idol. Korean and international media quickly responded to this statement with various perspectives. Some outlets wrote that this could indicate BTS will shift their activity format to be more flexible, not as a boy group with regular promotions and large-scale tours, but as individual artists united on special projects. This aligns with a new trend in the K-pop industry, where major groups gradually adopt systems like subunits or cross-member collaborations. However, internal sources from HYB labels have not provided an official confirmation regarding BTS's future direction. In a brief statement released via email to the press, a HYB spokesperson stated that discussions about BTS's long-term strategy are still ongoing, and every decision will be made with the aspirations of all members in mind. Although there was no direct statement from Jungkook regarding the content of the voice note mentioned by Taehyung, many fans began piecing together their own interpretations based on previous voice recordings, lyrics from recent solo tracks, and even the members' facial expressions during recent broadcasts. One Korean pop culture analyst, Professor Kim Ji-hyun from Seoul National University, stated, "A format change in a group as big as BTS is not surprising from an industry perspective, but the emotional impact on fans is massive because the bond formed is not solely based on music, but also personal involvement." Taehyung himself ended the interview with a statement that sparked more questions than answers. "I know this is hard to hear, but maybe now is the time we all realize that BTS is not a myth. We are humans with limits, and sometimes we also need time to listen to our own hearts." Interestingly, some observers argued that this emotional moment actually opened a more mature chapter in the relationship between artists and fans. "This isn't about the end of BTS," said Lee Sang-woo, senior editor at K-Culture Inside magazine. "It's an acknowledgement that the members have reached a point where they must prioritize life balance, and fans need to grow with them, not just demand they stay the same forever." Taehyung, in a separate post on his social platform, later wrote, "I spoke because I believe you deserve to know. We're not leaving, but we also can't keep running like we used to. We want to stay with you, in a new, healthier way." That sentence closed one of the most emotional chapters in the history of communication between BTS and ARMY. From a single voice note, a single confession, and one heartfelt sentence from Jungkook to his friend Taehyung, a new space opened that may be painful but honest. A reality that shows behind the glitter of the stage and thousands of cheers are people searching for meaning and direction amid the spotlight. Now, the most important question is no longer whether BTS will disband or not, but rather, is the world ready to accept a new form of BTS that is more honest, human, and maybe not always perfect like the image before? And if ARMY's tears today mark the grief for an old format, could it also be the beginning of acceptance for a more mature kind of love? Between idol and fan, this journey is far from over, but the road ahead now demands deeper understanding. BTS has opened a new chapter in its history, and as always, ARMY remains the primary witness to every step they take. After further investigation by the editorial team through several official sources, including statements from HYB labels and cross-checking against the broadcasts and interviews claimed to be the main source of Taehyung's statement, it can be concluded that the news about Taehyung revealing information from Jungkook that made millions of ARMY cry has no factual basis that can be accounted for journalistically, and no valid evidence was found, either in the form of official broadcasts, verified interviews, or voice recordings, indicating that Jungkook sent an emotional voice note to Taehyung regarding the future of BTS. Until now, there has been no publication from official South Korean media or credible international news outlets confirming the existence of such emotional communication as described in the previous narrative. In addition, the statements by Taehyung or Jungkook mentioned in the article were never released by the agency or broadcasted through official media. Facts circulating instead show that this speculation most likely originated from unverified social media posts and fan forum discussions, which then spread widely without direct clarification from the relevant parties. HYB Labels has also never issued any statements or responses to this issue, which is a strong indication that the information is speculative and not recognized as an official representation of BTS members' activities or thoughts. It is important to remember that in a highly dynamic entertainment industry like K-pop, various emotional and speculative narratives can quickly develop amid uncertainty regarding the artist's schedules and activities, especially when they are undergoing military service and not publicly active. Nevertheless, as consumers of information, the public is encouraged to always prioritize fact verification and not to immediately believe in emotional narratives that have not been proven true. Thus, the news about Taehyung's emotional statement regarding Jungkook, which triggered the tears of millions of ARMY, is false and is not supported by verifiable journalistic evidence. This story reflects how baseless news can quickly shape public perception, especially amidst the strong emotional bond between fans and their idols.